Hello, this is Peter Lucky. I'm creating a new Patreon video since the old one is no longer useful. Many people know what Patreon is, but for those who don't, I'll briefly explain. Patreon is a platform where you can pledge money to a creator monthly. In return, rewards are given, which could come in many forms and at different dollar values per month. First, I'll explain why I made a Patreon in the first place. The content I create takes a long time for me to do, and there's a lot involved. It's been my goal to turn what I do here on YouTube and SoundCloud into sustainable income. As a result, I treat this like my job and work many hours a week. But to produce audiobooks at a decent pace requires a lot of hours, so it's not something to be worked on as a hobby. I love entertaining people and helping them relax, but like any other adult, I have bills to pay, cost of living, etc. You may wonder why I don't charge for the audiobooks, which is an excellent question. I don't charge because there's no platform which will take works like these, and YouTube focuses on offering free content. My Patreon has seen early success and has generated far more money than I expected, especially considering my currently small traffic. People have been amazingly generous and have made such a huge difference, but I've got a long way to go before it reaches a viable level of income. To explain my situation, I'm a 27-year-old. I live with multiple disabilities: autism, motor dyspraxia, sensory processing disorder, anxiety, depression, and dyscalculia. If you'd like to know more about some of these fancy and complicated names, feel free to ask me. All of these are things I've had my entire life, but only figured out I had when I was 26. Not everyone may realize this, but the disabilities I have are serious, and not everything is something you can overcome. So, being disabled, I'm unable to work most jobs. Voice acting has been my passion, and one of the few things which not only rewards and excites me, but it's become a great creative outlet for me on YouTube to express myself. I get by financially through living with my parents and collecting disability, which is only a recent thing since November 2016. Disability doesn't pay nearly enough, and most of the money I get goes into paying rent to my parents. It's unfortunately not nearly enough money to allow me to live independently, especially with the country that I live in. So, that's my financial situation. Now, with the money I've received from the Patreon over the past year and a half or so since it's been opened, it's all ended up going back into the content I create. A great deal of sound effects used in my audiobooks enhance the listening experience and immersion, and those are purchased through using patron funds. There are too many to include, but examples would be crowd ambience in many locations, the sound of objects opening and closing, ice, water splashing, water movement, and really all things water. Bullet impacts, gale winds, clocks, footsteps, animals, money, cloth, birds, and many, many more. Sound effects are not at all cheap. Some of them are very expensive and cost hundreds of dollars. This is where the vast majority of the money has gone. Without them, the audiobooks wouldn't be nearly on the level of production value they are today. Aside from that, a monthly subscription to SoundCloud is also paid for, which provides you with a way to download my work for free and listen to it on another platform aside from YouTube. In addition, last month's patron money saved my computer from catastrophe. I had lost a hard drive back in September, then it was down to one drive. Then, last month, the final drive also was dying. I was soon to have no hard drives left, and thus no means to continue working on the audiobooks. Patron funds allowed me to purchase a new and better hard drive to replace the dying one, which was a huge help, obviously. So, supporting my Patreon has great rewards if you like hearing an improvement in the production values and ensuring I have working hardware to keep things running. But that's not all you get. If you support me on Patreon, I have exclusive rewards offered now, which wasn't always the case, and some of these are quite recent. So any existing patrons, feel free to take advantage of these. At any dollar value, you'll have access to my Discord. This is currently not active, and I'd like it if there were more discussion. I'm open to questions, comments, suggestions, and just general discussion and sharing, so feel free to drop by. In addition, at $2 or more, I offer exclusive previews to unreleased content, some of which may not see a release for months. I've been working on other audiobooks behind the scenes, which are being recorded and edited, but have not seen release due to a lack of essential sound effects, of which are unfortunately very expensive and the most expensive packages available left for me to buy, which is why they have not yet seen a release. So consider these like rough drafts. They are often voice-only or may include music, but lack in the normal production values because they're unfinished. But if you'd like to have early access to content and just want to enjoy the story without having the full treatment, it's available for you to listen and give early feedback on. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to all my patrons who continue to support me, and those who have supported me in the past. I love you all.